Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Amit, and today we're going to be talking about Finasteride. What are the effects of it, why you should take it, and does it actually help? So if you don't already know, I got 2 hair transplants done from Istanbul, Turkey. I got 10,000 grafts extracted from my donor area and placed onto my hairline and my mid-scalp, as well as my crown. It's been a whole thing. It's all over the channel. Check it out. For people who are wondering if I'm still using Finasteride, yes, I am. Now, a lot of people do ask, why do you use Finasteride, especially if you know that it only affects non-transplanted hairs, because transplanted hairs is DHT resistant already. Truth is that your scalp has a lot of DHT on it. And in order to stop DHT from attacking the hairs on your scalp and letting them fall off, we use something called Finasteride. Now, Finasteride is medically proven to help block DHT, which in turn helps keep our hair in the long run. DHT is short for dihydrotestosterone, and that is a hormone that comes from testosterone. It plays a role in things like body hair growth, but it is also the main cause for hair loss in men. For some people, DHT sticks to the hair follicles and make them shrink over time. This eventually makes hair grow thinner, weaker, and eventually stop growing altogether. That's why there are a lot of treatments out there that focus on preventing and blocking DHT for our scalps in order to keep the existing hairs that we have on our head. I've had 10,000 grafts extracted from my donor area and placed onto my hairline and my mid-scalp, as well as the crown. And the hairs on your donor area are generally DHT resistant, which means that any hair that's being placed onto the scalp already will not fall off because they're DHT resistant. They're not going to thin, they're not going to get weak, nor are they going to fall off. So why do you still take Finasteride? Well, the reason why I specifically take Finasteride is to help maintain the existing hairs that I had before. In the past, I did still have some hair on my scalp, which I think is worth preserving in order to give me this full look that I currently have on my scalp. It wasn't great, it wasn't a lot, but it was still something better than nothing. So I try to be safe and I still take Finasteride. For context, I never took Finasteride before my hair transplant because I wasn't as educated enough to understand what the benefits of it was. I started taking it after I got my hair transplants, and I felt like it has made a difference in giving me that full dense look that I currently have today. I started out with 1.25 milligrams, that I only could get a 5 milligram pill at the time, and I cut that into 4 pieces, so it was 1.25 milligrams. I did that for 3 months, and I switched over to 1 milligram a day instead, and then after about a year I switched to 0.5 milligrams. Now in the past year, I've actually switched over to 0.5 milligrams every other day. The reason why I've slowly started to reduce the amount of Finasteride that's needed is because, as I mentioned earlier, I have quite a lot of DHT resistant hairs already, so I don't need to take such an intense amount of Finasteride because there's not that much left to save. So whatever I have left, 0.5 milligrams is a completely fine dose to take every other day, as proven by doctors. I've been taking that without an issue, but a lot of people ask, do you ever feel the side effects? Now, the truth is that the side effects are there. They're a real thing. For those who don't know, some of the side effects include lower libido levels and erectile dysfunction, and in some cases, even depression. I personally have never experienced any of those side effects. I think at the beginning when I started taking it, I thought in my head I might have. I'm at that stage in my life where I'm not really keen on taking Finasteride because I know what the side effects are, and it's just not up my alley. But I realized it was, in the end, just a placebo effect. And honestly, I told myself that if I'm going to convince myself I have a problem, then I will eventually have a problem. Thankfully, I had a strong mind to talk myself out of that. And honestly, I've never had an issue with my libido levels. You know what I mean? I've never had any ED, and I've definitely never had any depression. I'm a very happy man. The point is that there are still side effects that are present, and some people do experience it. There's a study shows that only 3% of all men receive it, which is actually a very low amount. Now, if you do still feel those side effects, you can stop the pill, and 2 weeks later, your body will flush that Finasteride out, and you'll be back to normal. But of course, the catch is that you're not going to be able to save those existing hairs that you have on your head in the future. There is another solution that instead of taking the pill, you can try switching over to a topical Finasteride instead. I personally have actually switched over to topical Finasteride only because I wanted to try out what the difference was between the pill and using the topical gel. What they say is that the topical gel does have lesser chances of receiving the side effects, so that's one of the reasons why I started to apply that. I've been using the one from Zion. Their topical Finasteride has been great for me. I've been using it now for a couple of months, and I feel like I've seen a little difference in it. Honestly, the hairs on my head still feel thicker than ever. I'm not really complaining about that. If you're somebody who's worried about the side effects, you can always try using the topical version. I have a link actually to this particular product in the description below. Definitely check it out if you're interested. I did that. I tried it out. I feel really good about my scalp, and in the long run, I think I might stick to this if I choose to avoid the pill completely. I think people's biggest fear is taking the Finasteride and receiving those side effects. But again, it doesn't happen as often as you think. My advice is speak to a doctor, get that prescription from them, and then take it from there. If you still feel like you are a bit standoffish against it, try the topical version. That also might help in a better way. But again, at the end of the day, Finasteride is still really important to take, in my opinion, because it does help keep your existing hairs in the long run. You have to trust that process. You have to be confident of yourself using it, and you'll see that results within 3 to 6 months. The best way to keep track is keep taking photos of your scalp every other month, and you'll see that difference along the way. I did that for my entire hair transplant journey. It helped me visibly see the difference that it was making on my scalp, and hopefully it does to you as well. Also, if you have any questions or you just want to have a conversation about your hair loss or your hair journey and hair transplants, you can sign up for a one-on-one hair consultation service that I have below. Book a time slot that works best for you, and we can have that conversation together. I'm always here to help you guys, no matter what the situation is, even if whether it's about my hair or your hair, I'm always here to help. So definitely do consider booking some time with me, and we'll have that conversation together. All right, I think that's all for me for today. I hope this topic of Finasteride has helped you in any possible way. Like I said, consider taking it. If not, it's totally fine as well. Just know that you might end up losing the hair that you're trying to save on your scalp. Do consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, following me on all the socials, Instagram and TikTok. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.